take care of the business of Jesus Christ first. Without Him in our life, we are nothing. Okay, I don't have time to tell you about my story from when I was just a little tot, being 5 minutes younger than my identical twin brother. So when you're all out there in the street, you'll see Howard. It ain't Howard. Don't get mad at me if I didn't remember your name or your face. It was probably my identical twin brother. And his name is John Howard Scott. I'm Howard John Scott. Can't get us mixed up. Oh, my Lord Jesus. There's so many good things to share with you, but yes, I think I did like $3 or $4 million in different increments. My first million I made when I was 22 years old. And by the time I was 25, I was flat broke, homeless, and well, nearly homeless because I was smart enough to buy a house from the city auction. So I was able to stay there without any kind of heat or running water or anything like that. And then I got back up on my feet. I heard Malcolm X come over the radio waves. And I got up out of my slumber and I said, you know what, it's time to do something about this life that you have been given so freely. So I got up on my feet, I made a phone call to one of my billionaire friends, and he gave me 15 grand. And in a year and a half, I turned that 15 grand into another $1 million. And I built a company, Jet Plastics at the time. I was in Ebony Magazine, a Black Enterprise magazine. I had, when I was 18, I had 20 people working for me. All of them was under the age of 18 years old. And I was teaching them this craft, this plastics manufacturing. You know, back in them days, we had Public Law 95-507. And that law said from the federal government, if you're black, you can get some contracts. We was the only ones in plastics. And I went after all of them. I had 125 large corporations as my customers. IBM, DuPont, General Motors, McDonald's. You all eat at McDonald's. You see that little house on the counter where you put your... Well, my brother and I invented the pilfer-proof version, sold all over the world. I made a lot of money, and it was just incredible. Now, we don't have any training. I quit school when I was in the 12th grade. I was a juvenile delinquent. When I was growing up, I was a bad boy. Ran down the streets, knocking down, you know. Have you ever seen this movie, The Hurricane? Remember little boys running down the street, knocking stuff down, you know, running in the woods, and yeah, that's my brother and I, we did all that. Oh yeah, they called us up with us when we was 12 years old, sent me away to an all-boys reformatory upstate New York. And my brother, you know, something about him, he always seems to get places before I get to them. You know, so they sentenced us for two years, but he got out in 18 months, which left me there all by myself. But I had a pen, and I started writing. And my brother told me one day, he says, Howard, you know, when you write, you always make me feel like I'm right there with you. That inspired me, that one short sentence that he said. And I said, okay, I'm going to keep writing, and I kept writing. Now, Lisa said something about, you know, did you like to read? Well, no, when I was a kid, I didn't like to read. Why? The words were too big, and I didn't understand them. And they said, well, look in the dictionary. How are you going to read a book and keep looking in the dictionary? I was confused. I said, no, I'm not. And I kept closing the book. And then I finally got to this point in my life that I don't know when it was exactly, but I said, you know what? I'm going to keep going. Just keep going. I made $300 once I was 8 years old. I'm from Westchester, New York, and the snow back then, you know, 3 feet was nothing, and we loved it. We were on welfare. My mom raised 4 boys on welfare. My dad had another family out here in New Jersey, and so, you know, we had the run of the town. And we didn't just stay in that town. We used to hop the trains, go up to Connecticut, and all over the place. You know, had a ball. All of these things going off in my life, and finally moved to New Jersey when I was 16, $288 in my pocket, and a goal to become a big black businessman. Yeah, and started this thing, and I was consumed with it. Girlfriends and all that, quit all of that stuff, put it on the back burner, and for 2 years became celibate. Because I started out, you know, early in life, experimenting, you know. I like to experiment, you know. I'm real, I'll tell you the truth. I ain't got nothing to hide. I ain't got a secret in my back pocket. Because, well, I only got 10 minutes. This book here, they told me that I needed a book for some event that one of my friends was having over in Newark in November. So he told me about it in September, so I said, okay. So I put a collection of thoughts together, you know, thoughts, just thoughts. But that's not the point. The point is why do I carry a briefcase? I can tell you, I don't even know how many books I have in here. These are all my friends, y'all. These are my friends. See, I carry friends with me, all sizes, shapes, and colors. And I always carry one of these. Because you never know when somebody's going to need a receipt. Look, I had to have a purpose. Oh Jesus. About 4 more minutes, okay. Yeah. You have to have a purpose. If you have a purpose, then you can have the next P, which is passion. And once you have passion and purpose working together, and you have then perseverance, there is no stopping you. You can do anything you want to do. They told me, I remember reading it, and I believe what I read in that book. It has 66, a collection of 66 books in that Bible. Come on now. And they told me that Peter was called onto the water. And when Jesus said, come to me. And he walked. It said he walked. He didn't say he thought about walking. He said he walked on water. And Jesus told me, he said, look, you can do anything that I do and more. Don't tell me we can't heal diseases. Don't tell me we can't put the devil in his pants. We can do this thing. And we have some, look, we have a collection. Look at this. This thing didn't just start last year or 5 or 10 or 12 years ago. Over 100-something years ago, the Black Press started. Why did it start? When I got into publishing, I published a weekly newspaper called, first it was a monthly called Visions. And then my twin brother got excited about this concept. It was positive news for a change. That negative stuff that was put in our communities, I got tired of it. We started a paper with $0. I don't wait for no money to come and go down to the bank and let them tell me no, waste all my time.
Come on now.
Started with an idea, a thought, and the rest of it is done.
That's right.
Yes.
1827, the first black paper rolled off the presses in Warwick Street, New York City. Two brothers got tired of those people telling us about all of the murders and all that stuff. Our people wanted to know about the graduations, about the births, about the good things happening with our kids. And that's why the Black Press was started. Then they had the large exodus out of the South because of our good people over in the Sun Stacks in Chicago. And they said, we're going to make sure that they realize who we are, and they picked up from the brothers that started that thing, Rushworm and Cornish in New York, and took it out to Chicago and continued to drive that thing home.
Come on now.
We don't have one black newspaper in Newark now. The city robbed me for $126,000. I did $1 million in 1 year in publishing. Don't tell me it can't be done. Went down there and got my $380,000 out of the city of Newark. And you can too. Whatever it is that you want, all you got to do is just breathe it. Think the possibilities. Don't discount anything. And be careful what you speak. Lily talked about it. Be careful what you speak into existence. I don't even let people talk in my ear something about try. Try. What does try mean?
What does that mean?
What does probably mean? That's a waste of my time. Tell me no words like that. You're stopping what I'm trying to do. My mind is too powerful to be confused with the division of the possibilities. The possibilities you do it right now. Whatever's inside of you, it's a seed. Your job is to grow it, water it. There's all this help, all this combined help. That's right. Yeah, if we come together as a family like we did when we was on those ships out there in Africa, coming over the transatlantic, packed in there like sardines, not knowing the language of each other, and then we can come over to America and be in the White House.